Alex, do you want canned cranberry sauce or should we make it ourselves?
That's my mom. She didn't know about Instacart's family carts, so...
Want to make pecan pie this year, yes or no? Oh, and how many boxes of stuffing?
So I told her we could just share a family cart and add all our holiday favorites to the same order without losing our voices or our sanity. It's so much better.
Alex, can you get my holiday village out of the attic?
Baby steps, Alex. Baby steps. Shop Instacart this holiday season and enjoy free delivery on your first 3 orders. Service fees and terms apply.
Alex?
Train, baby. It's not fun. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the History Hyenas. I'm Chris Stefano, a.k.a. Chrissy Hitler. With me, as always, Giannis Pappas, a.k.a. Freddy Fettuccine. And for the first time ever, we have my very good friend, one of my closest friends, I'd say.
That's right.
Jared Freed, a.k.a. the J Train. So I brought my yarmulke!
Oh, you brought the yarmulke.
Where's mine?
Yeah, you don't get
In
one.
honor, I feel honored.
Yes.
I'm happy. Chrissy Hitler, I'm pumped.
He started with Chrissy Hitler, and
I'm
what
pumped.
the fuck are you doing over
you
there?
wear the yarmulke the most non-Jewish I've ever seen.
Yeah.
You wear it to the side like it's a...
Yeah, well, what?
You're wearing it
I'm
like...
wearing it like fucking...
You're wearing it very Italian-y.
Yeah, there we go. For J
Yeah,
Train, everybody, hello.
You're wearing it in the way where you would go like over and over again. You'd be like, it keeps coming off my head.
Yeah.
I don't get how you do
it's
this.
like I'm an undercover Nazi. Like, I swear I'm Jewish.
Yeah, we would know. You'd be...
Just come this way.
You would be... We'd pluck you out.
Yeah.
We'd be like, no. This guy's got debt. I can smell it on him.
J Train.
Moisha, my name is Joshua. Where do the other Jews hang out?
Thank you for fucking coming on the Potty Waddy.
Passover.
Thank you for coming on the Potty Waddy because you're a fucking sellout act. Like, you're just crushing it. So it's like we're fucking little pieces of garbage.
That's what I said to myself.
Yeah.
I said, I can't believe I'm doing this garbage
podcast.
show.
Yeah.
It's,
Can we just take
You're
one
welcome. You're
one
welcome.
second to clear the Chrissy Hitler, please? I mean, thank you. Now I can
Thank you.
continue.
Wei Shochi was just kidding.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
JK.
We always just do it. Well, because Jared's a close friend of mine. So
Yeah.
we always joke around like
I
that.
knew it was a joke.
Yeah, I know.
J
But the
Train and I
people,
are
we
very
gotta let
close
the
friends.
people
You gotta
know.
let the
Yeah.
Jews know.
You gotta let the people
So yeah, man.
It's kosher.
Appreciate you coming in. Now let's just be honest. First of all, you're wearing why do you? Oh, Massachusetts, right?
It's a Massachusetts.
You're
hat.
Massachusetts. You look banged up. You're hungover. Let's
No,
be crystal clear.
I'm-
what's going on? The kid
I'm
gets
tired,
banged up,
man.
Because you drink.
No, I didn't drink last night. I didn't. I even did another podcast today where they were like, they pulled out fucking whiskey at 11 a.m. I was like, there's no fucking way. It's Monday.
What I like about you now, J Train, is first of all, you kind of have a life and career that I want in the sense that you're doing great. You're selling out tickets wherever you go. You're doing exactly what you want to do, and you have a girlfriend, so you're not single. And just because my dirty dick is just it, I don't know how I'm still living.
Are you fucking?
I'm fucking, but I gotta stop fucking.
People think that like I get around or I got around. I'm like, no, I was pretty. I wasn't really like on the prowl.
Women love Jared. They love Jared.
I
He's a
did
good-looking
okay,
kid. He's a good-looking kid,
but
Jared, and he's got a lot of money.
You have.
It's a little bit of a. Giannis thinks I have a sex
problem.
addict.
You're a sex addict. There's no question.
There's no question you're a sex addict.
There, you will. There will be.
The girls are hot, though.
I've
for the
said
most
this
part.
before. To other people, and
Behind
I think
my
I've
back,
said,
you've said this.
I probably said it to you. I would not say it to you.
Train's a good friend.
If you lined up all the chicks Chris has fucked, you would be like, these people have nothing in common whatsoever. It would be every flavor. You'd be like, how? You'd be at the place, you'd be like, that's a sweet and that's a savory, and those don't even go together.
How do they go together? That woman has one leg.
Yeah, how did that? But I respect that. Like, I like that about it.
I'm not particular. I don't have a type. I enjoy people.
You would
I enjoy
be fun.
women's company.
There's some people that aren't fun to play the would you bang game with.
But I am
and
one
you're
of them.
fun because you'd break it down. Some people you'd go, would you bet? And then they go, oh, come on. What? They get judgy. Like, how could you even, like, you're being mean.
Right.
And then there's some people you bring it, if I brought up, like, would you bet? You'd be like, So it'd be like a Tuesday. Like we would go through.
The only times I can't bang a girl out is Tuesday nights because I have my baby.
That's right.
That's it.
You'll still find a way. You could find a way.
I could find a way. I've
seen you squeeze in between picking up the baby and
an afternoon bang or a morning bang. But I have to stop. I've very much slowed it down. Very much.
Do you have it on your mind? Or you?
Because I think the energy. First of all, I kept getting sick, like sore throats and all that stuff. Because I'm like just keep making out, like deep kissing all these different girls.
Yeah, just sucking the sore throat out.
Yeah, it's just sucking the sore throat. It's also like it doesn't feel good anymore in the sense that like I'm using a condom with everyone. So it's like it's one of those things where it's like. Whether I bang a girl who's like a 15, like fucking Latino supermodel, or like just a girl who I've consistently have sex with, it doesn't feel good anymore.
The stress of fucking is really not as good as fucking.
I'm like holding the condom down. I'm like, is that, texting him, is everything okay? I just don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
I don't want to deal with it. I did have
tracking
sex on
Instagram
Saturday.
posts from like 9 months later. You're like, are they drinking?
Yeah.
Just,
I'm saying all this, and I had unprotected sex Saturday, and then I had sex with a woman yesterday. So I'm saying all this.
You're an addict. This is just the first step is admitting it.
And I had a meeting with the girl.
You just told us a whole lie.
I know.
You went through this whole condom thing.
I went on Nikki Glazer's show this morning.
I've never heard of it. What's it called?
Oh, You Up. Do you have a show called You Up?
What? What?
So You Up.
Oh, yeah, I never thought of that.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
So didn't she?
Yeah. Yeah, apparently.
Thievery.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I said I hadn't had sex in 8 weeks, which is a lie. Because it's
3 minutes ago you had
Well,
sex.
it wasn't a lie in the sense that it was more like I just don't count sex with a condom as sex. It just is like if I have unprotected sex,
that's addictive. That's an addiction.
Yes,
rationalization.
Yeah, of course it is.
Yeah. That's a guy who gets a lot of puss.
Yeah.
Explanation.
Yeah, that's true too. Were they? I mean, who we talk? Bring up their Instagrams. Let's see what these.
Well, we can't legally. I'll get in trouble for that. But I'll show you
there's
privately.
a camera. I want to see. Yeah,
of course.
I gotta see.
I send you shit.
Yeah, no. But you do have taste. I will say. I want to go back on something. If you lined them up, I wouldn't be surprised with any girl you fucked. But then there's one type I know is the type.
Yeah,
that is above all else.
Yeah, tattoo on the tit.
Yeah, and
filtered Instagram.
But hot.
Sure, hot. And sometimes I'll see girls in the wild out in the street. I'll go, "That's a Chrissy D bitch." Like I'll know, like that's one that he would. Yeah.
She doesn't have shoes on. She's got jeans shorts. The button's not closed.
But I think
I could see her
she's
just
she's got a little fat roll hanging out under the shirt.
Yeah.
She's just
that's a Chrissy D. Chrissy will bang that.
She has a baby's bottle for a future baby.
Yeah. She's actively 6 months pregnant. Yeah. I mean,
she's got one flip flop.
I asked you this before, but I would talk about it more. Like I felt like it's maybe coincidental, but I think there is some correlation about when you now that you're in a relationship and you're not focused, because you got a ton of girls that would at least throw themselves at you, whether you act or not. It takes energy to check these DMs and messages, which is just not a part of your life anymore. I feel like you've given yourself more time to focus on your career, and it's paying huge dividends.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it's if those are directly related, but I do think that there is it's like when you stop drinking. You ever take like a week off of drinking?
Sure.
And you're like, oh my God, all this time.
Yeah.
Like I'm waking up and I'm like, I don't know, I should have more to do. You start getting stressed that you're not doing enough.
Right.
It's kind of like that with girls too, where you're like, oh, I have to, now I have, like, there's no avoiding writing, or there's no avoiding doing the post or whatever it is. So I think that's what it's more of that you're just like, okay, if I don't do, I can either do nothing or work, it's like, I think that's a bigger part. Drinking, I notice it with that. If I don't drink, I'm like flush with time.
But are you the kind of guy you have to drink every day?
No.
But you drink when you drink, you drink.
Yeah, when I drink, I drink.
You party hard.
Yeah, but it's not. It's like I went to a wedding Saturday, and there was for whatever reason I was drinking like orange vodka on the rocks with a lime, and they were going down. And I probably had 13 of those over the course of the night.
Have you ever been trying to stick to your diet?
And it felt good.
Yeah.
At the end, I woke up fine.
13. That's a high number.
I woke up.
Yeah,
spry.
Yeah. Dude, the last time I had 12 vodka sodas, I woke up the next morning and I had sex with a lesbian chef, and I don't remember it.
A lesbian chef.
I've told you about this. I never told you the story? I can't say her name on the potty, but I'll tell you after. But yeah, it's famous lesbian chef, banged her out, cracked her up and cleaned her out. She made chocolate chip pancakes the next morning.
I've heard this story.
And I threw up all over her floor.
After the pancakes?
No, before I couldn't eat them. So
that's an insult.
It's a huge
more
insult, she, yeah,
chef.
yeah.
That's a girl coming to your show and going, "Yeah, I didn't really laugh."
Yeah.
Have you guys ever decided to go toot for drink? When you go out, when you guys go out, you know how guys go drink for drink. You ever go toot for drink?
What do you mean?
Like if he has 13, you have 13 toots.
13 toots?
Yeah,
yeah. No, we should though. Well, he's a single. He's a guy in a relationship now, which
that doesn't take me out of the drinking.
Yeah, you can drink. You go.
I used to do that with my. I used to do that with my grandma.
Because you're a guy that works out a lot and you look good. But do you look good? Do you feel good? You look good.
I feel okay. I'm trying to get
Barry's
back
boot
into
camp
it.
kid.
No, I've been going. Now I'm going to like a gym in Harlem where the things that are going on in the gyms in Harlem are crazy.
Like, what do you mean? Like,
just like
wow,
the
they just have
whole
scaffolding? Is that the gym?
Yeah, just I go to one.
Zach, please.
Yeah, he's not even paying attention.
Yeah.
Anymore.
He's on
Men's Fitness.
I go to one. Street light, and we all switch off. And
are you ever trying to like get back in the gym and you're working out and you're really like dieting and you're sticking to your diet and then you fall off the rails because your manager posted a picture of the bread he just baked?
That's what takes me out of it. Jimmy
Shout out
Panera.
at Jim Serpico, one of the best.
Best of the biz.
That
his
guy,
bread
Jimmy
looks
Panera.
delicious.
It looks
fucking
good. I gotta
delicious.
try it.
I'd love to have I should have fucking had an Eastern brunch by Jim Serpico's
I
house.
know, right? We should have gotten some of that bread. I know the weight section smells like weed.
Right.
Like,
but you're
you
liking
just
working
like-
out at the gym in Harlem better
I
than
like
Barry's
it.
boot camp.
Well, I like it. I think I need to I think with health and fitness, it's all personal.
Good call.
So it's all like, someone's like, you got to do this, you got to do that, and you're like, no, I need to do what I can do. What I can do every day. There's always those people like, well, you're doing that, and you're like, yeah, this is how I have worked out my life.
For the first time in about 4 years, I can fit relatively comfortably into size 36 waist pants.
Okay.
And lost upwards of 20 pounds from boxing. I just enjoy
But you're
boxing.
enjoying it.
I'm enjoying it. Like today I boxed, rang my shirt out with sweat and felt like I worked out hard, but wasn't like dreading it. I was like, I loved it.
People always are like, well, yo, how many days a week do you go? And it's like, it's not hard to go if you're doing something that doesn't really feel like we don't have to go and have one day a week where we like kill ourselves.
No, it's not.
It can be, you go spar, and now you're there every day because you're enjoying it.
I look forward to it. Like I'm wearing I went out and bought boxing sneakers. You're
in. You're
I know
buying
the link. I'm wearing
shit.
a boxing sweatshirt. I feel like I'm always wearing boxing stuff. I love it. Am I a boxer and a good boxer? No, but it's for me like I've now. If you would have said 6 months ago I was 242, if I was like, oh, I could be 200 pounds by summer, I'd be like, it's not going to happen. And now I'm like 220. It's like I can feasibly
Are you
lose
eating
another
better?
20.
Is it like
It's
is one
all-
motivating the other?
Everything.
That's it. That's the big thing. One motivates the other. If you can get one on track, the other shit flows because you're like, well, I don't want to waste the thing I like doing.
Yeah, like tomorrow, I'm not going to have time to do boxing. I have to sleep at my mother's house because the baby's over there. So, like, I'm not going to have time to do any exercise, but I will wake up and do push-ups, sit-ups. I'll shadow box in the basement. I'll do something to get the sweat going and keep it going. Whereas, if I wasn't working out, I would never just get up and do that because, like,
No,
but the ball is rolling now.
Yeah, you want the ball.
You know what I mean?
My brother and I used to, when we lived together.
Harry.
Harry. We'd do this thing where we'd wake up hungover and we'd be like, is it a wash?
Right.
It's a wash.
Yeah.
And we just like be fucking pieces of shit the whole day. And it's just like, it's easy.
Yeah.
Like we have on the podcast that we have like a vitamin company sponsor. Right. And I'm like, I always say, I'm like, if you take a vitamin in the morning, you're that much more likely to be healthy during the day. Like it's just gonna it influences everything. When it rains, it pours.
Did your father have a heart attack this weekend, or because he's had like 36 heart attacks,
36
right?
heart attacks.
Yeah.
He's had two. He was early on too. So
was he doing coke?
How old was he when he had his first one?
His first one was 40.
Survived them though. Survivable heart attacks, which is a good thing.
Still around.
Smoker or no?
No.
Drinker.
Drink, ate. like me.
Yeah.
So
you don't care. Well, how's your blood pressure? How's your cholesterol? We talked about that on there. I'd love to take your BP.
Let's do it.
Okay, and you should get your blood looked
He's not
at.
anxious
But
like
I don't
you.
even
He's
know
just doing it.
The thing is with all these numbers things, like I'm like a big like I'll nod my head just because I'm like I don't care to deal with it. Like like with the numbers on blood pressure, cholesterol, I'll just be like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. Like it's like you're from Brooklyn, like
Queens actually.
Brooklyn, Queens borderline. Yeah.
Okay. People name areas in Brooklyn and Queens, and I literally don't know or care.
And he takes advantage of that.
I have no, and I go, oh, yeah. Like when people are like, oh, I live in like Playside Manor, and I'm like, okay, cool,
Whatever that says, yeah.
whatever that is.
Train and I started. We
You told him you were from Long Island when
doing
you
open
started.
mics together.
Yeah.
Well, no, Train when he first started, he was like, like that, like waspy, like frat boy guy that like. People were like, "Who's this guy? Fuck this guy!" And I was like, "I like Jared. I was friends with you from day one.
Sure.
Remember sitting up. I remember eating bagels at Stand Up New York.
I asked you
and
for
hanging out.
advice. I was like, I don't understand. The thing is, I don't really care. I never thought of like comedy for a certain group and not for another group.
Right.
And I felt that right away where I was like, this is kind of crazy that like I was like going into like the creek being like, hey, what's up? Nice to meet you. Thinking like, oh, I'm doing I like doing comedy.
Well, the thing is with you is you're a good-looking guy. You're a successful guy. A lot of comedians, they don't like to see that. So
this is an open mic. I'm at the same open mic as you. I always would go, like I remember in my mind, I'd see someone on stage doing something weird and I'd be like, oh, that's a weirdo. Yeah. That's going to be funny for weirdos. Right. And I'd be like, good. Yeah. There you go. I see the play. Yeah. And there was never, I don't think there's ever the same amount of, thought given to me.
Right.
Like I in the beginning, where people would go, oh, he's doing stuff for this type of audience. And
right.
You know what I mean? Like no one would look at me and go, oh, that's like there's an audience out there for that. Yeah. I would look at like somebody who was like, would go up and talk about it. They can never get on a date. They get, they're, I'm this loser or whatever. And I go, oh, I get it. Like, that's funny. Like, I would never like look at someone and be like, well, they're like, it's kind of like this, like, I don't want to call it racism, but it would be like, there was this thought of like, well, nothing you could say could ever be funny to me. And I'm like, no, you're the most different. I would see people different from me. And this is the most differentiated group of people I've ever been around.
Sure.
So I was always like, oh, that's for this. And I could see that. And I've seen someone who looked like that in the past. And I could see it. I don't think that's ever was really given back. And now, like, the people that come out to my shows, I'm like, yeah, those are exactly the people I was always talking to.
Well, yeah, because but I think
exact.
you were screwed in for years with this, and I remember you talking about it, and we talk about it all the time. You were like, you always post, you were always posting, you always had like alarms to post on your social media.
Sure.
And like that consistency has created fucking real ticket sales now.
I was doing the columns every Thursday. I did it on my own. Like I would write an article every Thursday, and it was like my own thing. It wasn't like anyone was paying me to do that. So every Thursday, someone was like, there's people that will be like, I've been reading your stuff since high school. And I'm like, that's crazy to me.
Yeah, you didn't even know they existed.
Adults working.
Right.
And you're like, you're high school. And then it was, but every Thursday put something out and just have something to like, be able to shill. To me, I was like, oh, if I meet with someone who's like, oh, we're looking for writers, I'd be like, well, here's 3 years of writing.
Yeah,
you were
deliberate. You were deliberate, which is very smart.
And
that's why you fucking, the guys who have this on are guys successful. Absolutely.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if it all relates, but it kept me. Doing stuff. Like someone asked me he was 2 years in and he was asking me for advice. And I was like, I don't know, man.
Tell him go fucking, yeah.
He's like, I'm 2 years. What's next? And I'm like, doing the same thing you've been doing, like keep going. Dude. Like, I don't know what
when
else
people
to
hit
tell
me
you.
up, when people
well,
hit me
look
up,
at
I'm
that
like,
kid Lev now. That kid is like, he's been doing it like 2 years.
Yeah, he's got a successful sex podcast.
And he's sold out already, Caroline's.
Yeah.
So nowadays, I think realistically, you could do it 1-2 years and make it with something other than stand up, and then cash in live and doing stand up.
Not talking about because I don't really know him too well, but like all those people, which is great, and it's not. But it's like there's some of that stuff that is, no matter which way you slice it, just flash in the pan stuff. Like their podcast is good now and this now. What you've done is you've created things from all different angles. You have stand up, you have your podcast, you have your Snapchat show, you have your Bachelor show. You have all these things where it's like if one falls, you're still good to go.
Diversified. I like it.
Diversified.
That's what you're.
That's what a good investor does.
Listen, let's be honest. That's what a successful white guy does. Diversify the portfolio. You're from Massachusetts, from an elite family. You just know what's going on. You're successful.
Elite family. Yes. I don't know.
I think everyone's an elite family to you who doesn't grow up in Ridgewood, Queens.
Yeah. It's just what it is.
We didn't have a stoop.
Yeah.
He didn't have a relative who had a tattoo on their tit.
Yeah.
So he's elite.
No, I get it. Yeah, you didn't have a stoop. That's funny. Jared doesn't come from a place that has stoops.
No, there's no stoop.
They have porches.
Yeah. The only stoop I knew was Sesame Street.
Yeah.
And did you know that I was told this fact the other day, that the Sesame Street characters all have like backstories.
No.
And in 2004, Cookie Monster dropped that he was, before he had cookies, his name was just Phil.
Really?
And he was like, and then he ate a cookie and then became the monster that you see now.
I didn't know that.
How fucking hilarious.
Yeah. Who was
is
Big
that?
Bird? What was Big Bird's name?
Tommy? Tommy,
Yeah.
like just like, just a tall guy.
Yeah.
Bert and Ernie in a gay relationship,
Bert.
just fucking, just out at the clubs, met each other.
Yeah.
Like I just have Phil.
It's you always
Now
remember
he's
that
Cookie Monster.
they were created by adults, so they all have some, like even the Tickle Me Elmo guy, like that guy ended up being in a relationship with like young girls, right? Or something, or boys. Or
Wait, what?
The Tickle, it
the
was
Tickle
young
Me Elmo
boys.
guy.
Yeah.
Shout out Paulie Gass, who used to my boxing instructor from Bensonhurst, Brooklyn. Used to sell Tickle Me Elmos out of his trunk
Half price.
for a half price. For
Yeah, he
kids.
got in
So
trouble.
wait a minute.
Tickle
The
Me
guy
Elmo
who
guy.
created Tickle Me Elmo?
Yeah, the voice. The
Oh, he
voice.
plays
Yeah,
Elmo.
but he created the pup. I mean, that was his character.
Dude, I think like, I think money makes people just go crazy.
I think so too, a little bit.
Like I think time and money. You see with all those lottery winners, they all go down.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you don't have a gradual, you're talking about like people like having a couple years where they get to sell out and whatever. It's like, if you don't have a gradual thing, you get your mind is gone. You don't even know how to relate.
Yeah. Yeah. Or if it happens young, I think you're doomed.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way around it.
Yeah, if
like,
it happens too young.
That's why I always think of like NBA players. NBA players are all child stars.
Yeah.
They were the most famous in their own town.
Yeah.
And then they were the most famous on their own AAU team. Then they were the best at at their college. And then they get to the NBA and it's like, if you're the seventh man on the bench, how fucked up are you?
Yeah.
Like
Right.
you're looking at LeBron James being like, he's that much better than me.
Yeah.
Right.
And I was the best ever in my high school, AAU, and college.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Probably the best in that town's history.
History.
Usually. Yeah.
History.
When you
lot of
see
times.
anybody who's played in the NBA or any professional
That's a
sport,
mind fuck. I don't care how much money
if you see them in high school, whatever sport it is, if you see those people in high school, it's the best person you've ever, like, it's almost emotional.
Yeah.
How good they were to watch live, and then they may or may not be stars in the NBA or what NHL. They could easily sit on the bench.
That's gotta feel like shit.
It's nuts.
Think about it. You're sitting on the bench and you're like, but I'm me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've grown up in heaven my whole life.
Yeah.
I've had this.
Yeah.
No one feels
It's
bad
a-
for them because they have a ton of dough.
But that's why sports psychology is a big thing now, because it's like you have to talk to these guys about all that
how
shit.
do you feel? What's going on? Yeah, I can understand that.
Because a lot of them are 21, 22-year-old kids, too. They're fucking suicide risks. They're millennial fucks. It's the same shit.
Dude.
Nah, basketball players don't really. That's rare. That one guy, Brian, remember him from the Bull? He played his last.
Oh, yeah. Didn't he drown himself or something like
yeah, he
that?
killed himself. But it's rare. Like it's
Football, you'll find it a lot.
football. You'll find
Well,
it.
that's because of the CTE.
Comedy. You'll find a few of those.
Comedy, you'll find it a lot.
Not in basketball.
Comedy, your ego, especially like, I talked about this last week. I go on the road sometimes with Sal Volcano, and it's like, every day I walk around, I don't get mobbed, not by any means, but I get noticed,
Sure.
whatever. When you're with Sal, it's like you're pushed to the side. I would probably
Get the fuck out of here.
I probably Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I was with him 2 weeks ago. I probably took like people just running up to him, give me the phone, took
Yeah.
about 40 pictures of Sal and his fans. So it's like you have to just be like, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, why wouldn't you be?
You have to.
I mean,
Yeah.
also you understand. I guess that's the way to look at LeBron versus the next guy.
Yeah.
Like I would look at Sal and go, yeah, he's on TV every minute of every day.
Yeah.
Like how could like
It's wild that their show is 51% of the viewership on the entire network.
that's what it is.
That's what it is.
His show was kind of like the last
Thing.
TV show that they, it was like that VH1 Best Week Ever. It's on
Sure.
so much you can't even avoid.
Why
that
wouldn't
show.
they just find groups of friends and have them do the same show otherwise?
I don't know.
Like, wouldn't you just be like, okay, it works. Let's just keep. Let's
Yeah,
be the
they
channel.
should've.
Let's be the Joker's channel.
Well, that's an interesting thing you said. We know who told me that. It was a definite inside information that was true. It was like they hate the Jokers. They hate True TV's in that they trying to be cool, and we want to do that kind of Williamsburg thing, or we want to do that. We want to do the weird comedy. We want to do the diverse comedy. So they hate the Joker's fan base. They hate that. They hate
normal, nice people.
Yeah,
I've met them. You see them at shows. They're like the nicest.
Exactly. They hate the hand that feeds them. It's the only thing on that fucking network that works. It's the only thing that keeps the network afloat.
Well, that's another thing with I had heard some inside info, like another station that has a certain cartoon show that will go.
Don't mention it.
They don't. I don't think they're really fans of their fans either.
Yeah.
And that cartoon show,
builds it up.
Crush it.
Yeah.
For years.
Yeah. It's like, and that cartoon show's fans is like everyone's heard of it. It's almost everyone. Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's this new people in charge that want like a exclusive kind of cool.
But I get that.
Group.
Like I get that from you say like doing all the stuff that I've done. Like I do on my own. Like I comment on The Bachelor just because I like those things. And now that there's a little tiny group of people that will follow me, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna just keep doing the things I like to do, and hopefully they like it. But no one is looking at me, and I know this, and I don't think this is offensive. I don't think no one's like the thing of like our generation is you want to be interesting for knowing interesting. I am not an interesting pull for someone to pull out of obscurity because I look a lot like the people that I sit across from. Right. Every comedy club I go to, I'm asked for a ticket because they think I'm going to the show, and I get that. And it's like
even your own sold out shows,
even my own shows, sir. Where's your ticket? No, I'm Jared. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah,
and I get that, but that's the reality of like. There is something cool to saying, well, this person who looks nothing like me, I get it. I understand it.
I know exactly what you mean.
So, and I can't really fight. That's not a fight to wage. I'm not going to change that opinion. I'm not going to change that want because it used to be like, I think there was a time where like maybe my parents would be like, no, this is the job. We want money and numbers.
Right.
And now it's like, no, I want shoes that also buy shoes for someone else in the Orient. And now I am a person who gives a pair of shoes to someone because of my purchase.
Yeah. Right.
Well, that's how every company on Shark Tank is like, plus we have a goal of giving to this group when you make your purchase so you'll feel good about your purchase. I was like, I just never like came up with that like, you got to feel good about the thing. No, I want to fucking.
Oh yeah, all those competitions.
Shoes.
Nobody's ever.
Nikes.
Nobody's ever. They have to feel bad for you. Nobody's ever going to win unless you have to be a sob story. You have to 100% have something awful that happened in your life,
or you have to be like inspiring. And I was like, I don't even know where this came from. Yeah. I watched Undercover Boss the other night. Have you watched that show?
I've seen a few episodes. Yeah,
dude. Every episode they talk to the saddest people ever, and they're like, and it's a CEO being like, how you doing? He's like, I lost $100 the other day, so now I can't pay my rent. And you're like, why isn't the CEO doing anything? He does nothing. It's just like every person they meet is just in dire
instead
straits.
Of feeling bad for it, why doesn't the CEO just say, well, if $100 is paying your rent, why don't you just not quit this job and get a real fucking job? Why don't you work harder?
Well, then they do this thing at the end of every episode where the CEO gives everyone they met like 20 grand or something. And it's like a Willy Wonka treatment.
Yeah.
It's like, you guys won the golden ticket. And it's like, yeah, but what about the person that was also making fries with you?
Yeah.
Like that person's
part of the reason that
too.
show's a hit is because CEOs have to prove they're human now.
Yeah.
Because like the trend is to be like anyone who's rich or successful or excellent at anything is evil or bad, people. Or awful people. So now it's like these CEOs fucking degrading themselves by putting on a fucking smock, going like, "Hey, guess what? I have red blood too. I'm a person.
Yeah,
I'm just not an evil person making 400% of what you're making and ruining your life. It's like, actually, I'm a guy who cares about my business and I fucking worked hard for it.
Here's 20 grand, please. Please just be nice. Please, please think I'm a nice person.
I think a lot of it is that. I think it's become. We were flirting with it for a while, and now it's like full blown, like way left kind of. You just assume everyone's bad who's done good.
Well, I think also we, people fucked it up for themselves too. You never had to see what was in someone else's backyard. If your neighbors went on vacation, you just assumed they went on the same vacation that you could afford.
You're talking about with the gram and
now
everything?
you're on Snapchat and Instagram
Keeping up with the Joneses.
on stories, and it's not, oh, I'm sure they went to Florida and they stayed at a hotel just like I would. Now it's, I'm seeing the hotel they're at. How the fuck are they affording that hotel when they live next door to me?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, they must have it easier. They must have rich parents. They
So
must
now I
have
hate
this.
them.
Now I hate them.
Right.
Yeah.
Fuck your vacation.
But meanwhile,
that's a big thing. So
Yeah.
we should have just, remember when there was that Rich Kids of Instagram show?
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, yeah, we all watched that and we're like, these kids, fuck these kids.
Yeah.
It wasn't like we were watching going, oh man, I wish this could be my life. We were all like, no. There's no way it could be our lives.
But they always pick like the fucking because it's TV, so they want a train wreck. They never pick just like normal. Most of the rich kids who are just like, yeah, I'm following my father and mother's footsteps, working real hard, getting good grades.
Like Dennis Leary's son, Jack Leary, who's Dennis Leary, I'm sure made a lot of money. Jack Leary, who we worked with on IFC on Benders. Jack Leary is like a great producer, great guy in comedy. Is just Jack, of course.
Yeah.
And it's like Jack Leary is just a great kid that never used his father's money or like privilege or whatever, and grew up very wealthy and just works his fucking ass off. But he would never make a TV show because he's just doing things the right way.
Yeah.
It's goes both ways. Like, it's normal to look at those stories on Instagram and go, fuck this guy. I call it FTG mode.
Yeah.
Like, just immediate reaction, visceral to go.
Sure.
And everyone's doing that to each other.
Sure.
Everyone, like, in comedy, we have a moment of that where you see someone like at shows and they're putting up all their stories and you're like, well, I'm not booked, whatever. People are doing that on grander scales than we can understand. Just it's that neighbor thing. And I get that. Like, I do understand why. And now that relates to everything. Well, you must.
Well, even like the motivational speakers. I know Tim Dillon talked about it, but the Tony Robbins of the world, the Gary V's, all these people like posting like, you got to do this, you got to do that. It's like, it has a negative effect on certain people. It makes people feel awful about their life
Gary
sometimes.
V is that guy's a snake oil salesman. I mean, like, that guy, talk about, his whole thing is crazy. What do you do motivational speeches with the F word, and now I believe you more? Like, no, you're the new kid on block.
Well, Tony Robbins curses like that too.
Oh, does he do that too?
Like,
I can't. And it's like, that's another guy. His dad owned a huge fucking liquor store. And
Tony
then,
Robbins' dad?
No, Gary V. And now he's what kind of genius? Yeah, you're a genius because your dad had a great business that you almost fucking put into the ground. Like, it's there's more to that story too. If you
It's
go
all
look
the
at
bullshit.
it.
That's why, dude, I stay off the Instagram stuff, and that's why I think it's so important in our careers to have like something else to focus on. Like, guys have relationships, girls, I have my kid. It's like, I don't have to get stuck in just watching what these people are doing. I can watch fucking Pocahontas 5 times and not worry about it.
Yeah, I was with my girlfriend last week a lot, and I just noticed that, like, I was like, man, I kind of like looked at my Instagram numbers,
which are great, by the way, and jumping every day.
I looked at.
I follow every second. No,
it was down,
and
I was
fuck
like,
that guy.
I was like, I must have been like having a good time, with Jess hanging out and not having to do that. When you're on the road, that's when you post the most.
Sure.
When you're alone and you have nothing.
You're always posting at 5 o'clock in the morning when most of us are like just getting our asses to the airport. You're posting a fucking 30-minute story, and it's
I'm in.
But your Instagram, and we've spoken about this a lot. You're a perfect example of your Instagram and social media of all of them is a television network to these kids. Like,
to me, it is.
It's a television network. Like, you always have content.
Hub of the wheel, and it's
at
also
Jared
like,
Fried on Instagram.
Thank you. It's also like always you gotta be everything you do. Like, the other thing you guys were talking about, like the light reading on the last episode.
Oh, yeah, a little light reading, white fragility.
White fragility.
Why we're pieces of shit, and every white person has to read it.
You gotta read it if you're gonna fit in today.
Even though I have a diverse daughter, all I do is volunteer my time when I have time to anybody.
Well,
soup kitchens, everything, but I'm white, so I need to read that to understand why I'm a piece of shit.
You gotta figure it out. But you see that, and it's like, okay, let them do that. I'm just going to be as funny as I think I can be every post.
Yeah.
Like, there's no post I'm putting up that I don't think is funny.
Sure.
So, and there's nothing serious. There's nothing ever going to be that's like, I'm there. Come for the fart factory. That's all I want to do.
I don't waste any of my energy on that bullshit.
No, and even if it is somewhat, divisive, whatever it is, with the thought of someone laughing to themselves about it.
And our egos make it that about us. It's like whatever comments posting, they're
Aparna
selling
ain't reading
this
that
out.
book because of you.
Yeah, it has nothing
You didn't
to do
it.
with
It has
you guys.
nothing to do
It's
with
got
you.
nothing to do with you guys.
So,
yeah.
She's not reading that being like, well, Chris should be reading.
Yeah. It's like, who cares? It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
No, but I think, all these points that you bring up are good, man. And fucking, it's Passover. I know you want to talk about the birth of Jesus, and
I just know so little about it. I feel like I should know about my cousin.
What don't you know about the birth of Jesus?
Tell me the story. What
do you mean? He was a Virgin Mary.
He went to Catholic school.
Virgin Mary, Mary, Mother of God, and her carpenter husband Joseph never had sex. They may or may not have had sex after, but he was the Immaculate Conception. He was immaculately. Jesus was.
Now you hear that, and everyone's just going with it.
I say yes. I say I believe.
Like
I have a cross tattooed on my back that says faith, and I keep it.
And I like religion. I'm not like one of these like. I think I like the community of it. Like I like the yarmulke. Like I know who's on my team with their hats.
Sure.
I like that. But
nobody wears the yarmulke, so you can't tell.
I'm happy that Judaism is in another language, so I don't have to come face to face with asking myself if I believe it or not.
Well, Judaism.
I can sing the songs and go, I can sing like Die Anu, and I'm like, okay, what? I'm just having fun with the song.
Well, the Old
it's
Testament.
Not like, there's no song where it's like. The baby came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
The baby came out. I don't have to repeat that to myself.
Well, the Old Testament, the more Jew side of the Bible,
sure,
that is based more in like facts and like whatever. It's kind of it's more designed to be taken like as like this is truth. Read the words. The New Testament, the more Catholic part, the ones that the Catholics pay attention to, I should say, it's like parables, stories, analogies to life. That's what it's supposed to be.
Okay.
So it's supposed to be taken like, hey, this is a story about this that happened, but the real meaning is this. So like for example, the story of Easter Sunday,
sure.
Jesus coming back from the dead.
Well, hold on. There's a big gap between Jesus is born.
Yeah.
And then he lives how many years?
He's got about 33 years he died, but there's the mystery years of Jesus. From the time he's like 15 to like 30, there's just nothing written about him in the New Testament. The Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John.
That's the thing. Like it's kind of like a Macaulay Culkin.
Sure.
You got like the first 10 years and you're like, we love this fucking kid.
The truth about Catholicism, and it's my religion, so I know about it. It's like, the truth is like most of the religion was just kind of made up at this thing called the Council of Nicaea in 325 AD, where just Emperor Constantine, who was the emperor of the eastern part of the Roman Catholic Empire, he just basically, they made fucking whatever gospel made Jesus look the best, which happened to be Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. There are about 30 other gospels around at the time that did not paint Jesus in that light, that did not have Mary as a virgin, but the stories that they wanted Jesus to paint in that light, they did. And then all things just started happening. Why, calendar dates, why we do this, eating meat, not being able to eat meat on Fridays, and not being able to eat meat during on Good Friday and certain Fridays during Lent, or some devout Catholics every Friday during the year. Really, what that is there was a bishop alive at the time that was making the rules at that council and owned a fish market.
That was it. It's a money scheme.
That's the truth.
That's very Jewish.
Yeah,
of your religion.
Well, the similarities between Jews and we're all cut from the same cloth.
Well,
Jews and Catholics.
But Jews founded Christianity.
Jews founded Catholicism.
The thing is, for me, I come from this like Jesus was born, then he was long hair with a beard.
Right.
Like there's no thought. I just not until right now did I ever think of toddler Jesus and people going. Like, were people afraid of the toddler?
No, at first he wasn't really known as the Son of God. I mean, Mary was saying, I'm immaculately conceived this baby, and they're like, you're fucking nuts. Her husband Joseph was a carpenter. He was very old at the time.
Did they fuck after?
They're believed to be now. There's some scriptures that say Jesus had brothers and sisters. And
he definitely had brothers.
It's okay to think that Mary got
fucked hard. She got fucked, and she might or might not have had fumes.
He's going to hell for what he's saying.
Yeah.
But I'm going to refrain,
and
say that Mary
she got banged
most likely had sexual intercourse to her married husband, which is well within the guidelines of Catholicism to do that. But Jesus was conceived immaculately.
So she has a bunch of kids, and one of them is like
one of them. Well, no, she was a virgin when
that's
she got pregnant with
tough
Jesus.
Brother to have.
No, she wasn't a virgin. He wasn't the oldest.
Jesus was. No, it's
Jesus
Mary.
was older than James?
Yeah, it's Mary, Mother of God, the Virgin
Mary.
Yeah, but was Jesus the first of her kids?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because she was a virgin.
No. He wasn't. Isis, can you just double check? James was his older brother. Mary had gotten banged out.
James was his older brother from Joseph's previous marriage.
No, that's not. You're just making that.
Because
That's a Ridgewood arrangement.
let me ask you something,
yeah.
you fucking peanut head inbred fucking guy that thinks he knows everything but actually knows nothing.
Yeah.
Let me just tell you, if it's the virgin Mother of God.
Yeah. Okay.
What's the key word I'm saying?
Virgin.
Virgin.
No, I heard made up. That's the key word.
No.
Made up. Yeah,
No.
I heard fantasy.
Yeah,
I
don't know,
heard
man.
allegory.
James was, it wasn't Mary's child.
It was Joseph's child from previous relationship. Because I know Catholicism.
Out of marriage? Wait a minute.
You live by Father Bill.
How is that something that exists and people are like, were like negative about divorce and
What do you
he
mean?
just had this other kid in another marriage? Or?
Which is okay. His wife died.
Oh, okay.
So he's
that's
remarried.
fine.
He's a carpenter. Joseph was a carpenter.
Widowed man is the top of the fucking charts.
Yeah.
The banging
God, yeah.
charts. No one gets more chicks.
Then a widowed guy or a guy
Widowed
with a
guy.
puppy.
I
One of
gotta
those
go
two.
widowed guy over guy with puppy.
So Jesus now, he's a toddler. He's the baby
Okay.
Jesus.
And you guys made up that it was a baby from another married because you just want to keep her a virgin when really she got banged out.
It's not true.
She got banged the fuck out.
So yeah, and then there's a lot of mystery years, but Jesus growing up is just like your normal little
Like,
kid.
where's youth soccer 15-year-old
It's happening
Jesus?
there. Well, those are the mystery years of Jesus. He reappears when he's like in his late 20s, early 30s.
And he's just like, I'm that guy. I was
Well, yeah,
immaculately...
now he's turning water into wine. Now he's turning fish. He's making the fish multiply. He's making bread loaves multiply. He's walking on water. Now he's like Broadway Jesus.
So people were like, you got to hear about this Jesus guy. This guy's...
Well, the thing was, there were
Doing some
about
crazy
20
shit.
other people in Jesus' time claiming to be the Son of God. It was a common thing to say, I'm the Messiah, I'm the Messiah.
Yeah, because the Jews were expecting a savior.
Exactly.
You guys are still waiting for your guy.
We're still waiting for your
We're
savior.
waiting, yes, every day.
Jesus, really he talked to mostly the poor. All his disciples were poor people. So there's like the speculation that you're able to get poor people to do and believe anything you say.
So
to do.
he's walking around, he's getting a following, and this is when they
listen.
think the Jews were like, "This is we
You
gotta get rid of
can
this
you
guy.
can deny the story of Jesus. You can deny that the immaculate. You can deny all that. You can't deny that a man named Jesus historically lived at that time. There's enough evidence of that. He's talking
Didn't
about
they go
so
get
many
his
times.
tomb?
Well, that they
CNN?
don't. Who knows if it's where his tomb actually is? Because it's like you don't know what the guy looked like. But if you don't believe in his story, which is fine, you go to hell. But
this story,
but he did exist.
Everything-
he did exist.
This
you
whole
have to
story-
admit he existed.
it makes
For the
sense
most part. I mean,
that
show
a
me the body.
28-year-old before cell phones would walk around being like, "I'm the guy."
Yeah, he had
Yeah.
a mental illness. Yeah.
It makes sense.
Yeah,
to me. That
with
makes
the way
sense.
Jesus' hair was,
and would get a following.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Didn't you say that Jesus was actually a guy? They based an artist description off the. There is like the pictures of Jesus.
Godfrey said it's some
It's
British.
just a real person.
Yeah, they probably.
Who knows? It's
Like a
exactly been a
mascot.
Godfrey
It's a
fact
Godfrey
of the day,
fact.
though.
Yeah, it's a Godfrey fact, which means it's not 100% true.
We're not sure.
Yeah, we're not
Now,
sure.
speaking of ones, do you have a 100% clean ass right now?
I have a 100% Googled article that says he had brothers named James, Joseph, and Simon.
Right.
So you tell me all three of those? Well, I mean, are you telling me that Joseph, Mary's husband, was a fucking whore?
No, I'm saying that she had sex after Jesus, but Jesus was the oldest and the Immaculate Conception, and then she probably had sex with her husband after and had more
They
children.
used condoms,
That's
so
what
it
I'm saying.
didn't count.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Either way, she got banged out, Chris. She got banged
She
out.
got banged out legally within the confines and constructs of the Catholic religion because she was married.
Is
yeah, but-
everyone was Virgin Mary hot?
We don't have any pictures of her. Unfortunately, the camera's not going to be invented for another couple thousand years.
But we have the Jesus pictures. We have the Godfrey.
Yeah.
On point.
They say he looked Semitic, so he looked like darker.
Okay.
He was a Jew. It was a Semitic Jew. I mean,
So it
Jesus was a Jew.
It was like a Persian Jew.
He looked like my friend Nir Rosen. Pull up Nir Rosen. That I guarantee
Nir
you is what
Rosen?
Jesus looked like. Pull up Nir Rosen. My old college. No, NIR.
Did you
I
make
mean,
the joke
ISIS.
growing up? I'm right near Rosen.
No,
No,
but
it's
that
a good
was-
one,
that
though.
was
fun.
We could hit him with it now.
Yeah,
That's fun.
That's what Jesus looked like.
Probably that.
Yeah, probably something like
yeah,
that. Yeah,
that's Jesus.
Yeah.
Look like ISIS.
And Nir's a Jew, and he's Semitic. His father's Iranian.
Yo, Nir, what is this picture? What is this from?
He's he's an intense guy. He's a journalist.
He will be decapitated by ISIS one day.
At one point,
He
he will
looks
get his head
angry.
cut off. Yeah, I mean, he goes to places that's fucking wild.
He will 100% be decapitated.
He lives in Lebanon. Yeah,
yeah, it's just what it
he's
is.
jacked though. Show a picture how fucking jacked he is. Kid is jacked.
Yeah, but if I do
Lebanon's
slip 1,
like
2,
the-
3,
huh?
Hmm?
Yeah, cause
yeah.
okay,
The thing is,
we're
I'll
done.
throw hands at him.
Yo,
Yeah, you'll
this
throw
is a
hands.
hilarious. He hates that third button.
Yeah,
Dude, he really lets the chest fly.
Look at that one with the hair. What was he doing with the hair? And then the other one, he looks like he is captured by it. Go to the
That's
one where
what
he's-
Jesus looked like with his hair.
Yeah,
like
that's
that.
fucking what Jesus looked like. And go to the bald one. He looks like he's captured by. Oh, he's wearing a sports coat. All right. Yeah,
Jay
that's
Train,
what Jesus
Yo.
looked like.
Fucking yeah. So that I know there's a lot of questions about.
He doesn't
the
believe
thing.
any of that
I'm
shit.
not, I'm
what
not
do you believe
asking
in?
Huh?
with any skepticism. I do believe that during that time, there was a baby Jesus, and people were like, "This is the chosen one."
What did you
And
grow up with? What were your customs, traditions? What was it?
I'm a high holiday Jew. I don't go
In
would do
HHJ.
HHJ. We go 2 high holidays. We do Passover.
I was
and
supposed to
then-
come down to your parents' condo in Florida to celebrate some holiday with
You'd
you.
get stopped
Yeah.
at the gate immediately. They'd be like, "The air conditioner's working fine."
You can't do
Yeah,
it.
please keep
Please.
it
Yeah,
moving.
Jared
Yeah.
grew up. What town did you
Please.
grow up in again?
outside of Boston called Needham.
Needham, and I drove past the house you grew up in. Nice place.
Yeah, he was
and the
at-
local bagel store. What's the local bagel store?
Bagel, Cafe Fresh.
Cafe
But we
Fresh,
called it
great bagels.
Great bag. at
I
Cafe
need to
Fresh.
be living close to Jews and Italians, and that's just
to
what
feel comfy.
I need. Bagels, and I need
Yep.
Italian food and pizza, and it's just what I need. And it's just what I need.
Are you gonna do like Long Island? You gonna be in Long
I
Island?
can't go that. I can't go that deep.
You're
Yeah.
recently married. Congratulations.
Thank you, thank
now,
you.
are you gonna does she want that?
She does in a lot of ways want that because she's
That
from
means
there.
she
Her
wants
family's
that.
that she wants it, but I'm
So
not.
is she like Long Island in the sense that like I'm gonna move next door to my parents?
Yeah, yeah.
because that's a Long Island thing more than a religious thing. to
Yeah,
me.
it is. Yeah,
Like I'm gonna be on the same block where grandmama and papa
she wants that
take
bad.
care of the kids because they can walk across the yard and that's it.
She wants it bad, but I'm putting up as much defense as I can at this point. So I'm trying
How much defense?
by saying it's never gonna happen.
And then
I'm
what
going.
does she
Look,
just
I'm
say?
going. Listen to me. It's never going to happen. And she's going. Well, you have
What
to
town in
understand.
Long Island?
Melville.
Nice town.
Yeah, she's got. She's okay. She
I mean-
grew up with. She actually went to Temple as a. She's Greek and Italian, but she grew up with all Jews because she's right
yeah,
next to
I
Plainview.
don't adhere to that. There's always that one
Right.
that they grew up around Jews. So they go, I'm Jewish, and I
She
go,
doesn't go that. She
I
doesn't,
go,
yeah.
my mom would yell at me for dating you, so no, you're not Jewish.
Yeah.
So let's talk real math here.
But she's had a lot of Jewish friends.
I'm sure. Yeah. She gets what goes on.
Yeah, but your parents want you to marry a Jew then.
My mom is very
Yeah.
And your current girl's Jewish.
Jew.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
It works. I want it, like socially, like the cultural stuff, like just like, she's Greek.
Greek
so
and Italian.
you guys have things in common that you, without even ever meeting.
Yeah, that helps. It
It helps.
Yeah, you just want to.
Were you worried selfishly? Because I was worried about this, but then I got over. But just asking, when you got a girlfriend, like it would hurt your career, like to be public with that.
No,
Is
no.
you're a desirable
No,
guy.
you know what it is? Like, anyone that would DM me about, like, getting drinks or hooking up, they wanted to, like, date.
Right.
Like, it wasn't like they were, like, they weren't, like,
They
looking
weren't like, I want to suck your cock
No,
dry.
it was
like,
never like that.
I want to get to know you.
I want to, like, let's do drinks. And I would go, why? I don't know you. You got to see my dating profile. I don't get to see yours.
The thought of like going out on these dates with these girls and having to perform after I just performed.
It's
and
exhausting.
It's
It was a lot.
exhausting.
So like when Jess and I met, I wasn't even like dating. I was like out of it. I was like, I'm not doing it.
Perfect.
I'm
She came in perfect.
Gonna hang. I'm gonna get drunk and fucking do whatever comes my way. And it just kind of worked out. But it's not the dating thing. Let's do drinks. I think like also like the Jewish thing works into that too. Where like a lot of women, and I don't mean to like make
Say
as
it.
a group, but they want adventures that are safe. They want safe adventures. And I think a lot of Jewish girls see me as a Jewish guy that like checks a certain box for them as a certain type. Also doing comedy, it's like, oh, he does fun stuff, but my parents will be cool with it.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, so it's like
Sort of.
But they'll, like, he's got it all going on, plus this job that's like kind of keeps things hot and fresh.
Right.
So I can understand, like, a lot of them, to them, I could, when I meet them, I kind of felt like they had dated like one type of guy that was just like me, minus this career.
Yeah, I feel like your
So-
Instagram and social media is very parent friendly. There's nothing filthy on there. There's nothing like nuts.
No, but the mom would laugh at the jokes too. Like I have like a lot of like, moms that, when I do the Bachelor commentary, girls will write to me, I'm watching this with my mom now.
You're a safe Jew fantasy, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
for Jews.
I have a Jew. There's a fantasy to be fulfilled. And I'm not even saying like from a looks part.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just from a comfort standpoint.
Yeah.
You're not a
safe
doctor. You're not
adventure.
a lawyer. You're
Oh,
There's
it's
group
not the same
chats.
old story.
Yeah.
There's group chat. Girls are smuggling their phones into Temple right now on group chats, texting like, I want a guy like Jared Freed.
Well, they want to bang a guy like Jaron Fied. And
No,
then
they want to date him.
They want to bang him.
I don't know if Jews are the kind
And
of people
some of
that
them
just
wanna
like to
marry,
go fucking
But
bleed.
trust me, to introduce to Jewish parents, they'd have to preface it a little bit
Dude.
like, he's doing really well.
He's doing
and
it,
they'll go,
yeah.
is he Seinfeld? And they go, no. And they go, but he's doing really well. And they're going to go, what do you mean? I don't see his TV show. I don't know what you're talking about. He goes,
Listen.
no, he's got an Instagram fund. They go, what the fuck is Instagram?
Well, then, like
Yeah.
like I know how my mom would react to me, so
Right.
I know what the conversation is.
he's
But your
drinking.
girl's parents
He's
are cool
hanging
with
out
you.
with Schwartz's.
but my mom,
Shang-Chi, please.
would, if it wasn't me, my mom would judge it horrifically.
微上吸引
Got it.
Yeah. So like if it was someone, like I remember my friend when I was selling life insurance and shit. My friend, she dated this guy and she was like, and he's a comedian. And I spent the whole dinner. We were all hanging out like a bunch of friends at group dinner, making fun of this guy to no ends. Just every 5 minutes, I was hammered, just going, just doing. What's the deal?
Oh, you were. Oh,
I
he was
was-
a comedian. And you weren't.
Yeah, no, I was just.
Was there anybody we know, or he kind of just came? to
I
write?
have no memory of who it was. I can't. Like I just know she was like gone on a couple dates with a guy who's trying stand-up comedy. And I was a big dickhead, and I'm just sitting there going, "What's the deal?" And the whole
guy
table was
hated
just
you.
dying laughing.
Yeah.
just because we were fucking around about it, and I was hammered. And then, like a year later, I'm
You do
And
that
now,
guy,
it's like the last thing I ever want you to say if I'm in public with you is that I'm a comedian. Like you would never want your girlfriend to introduce you as a comedian
I want that.
if they didn't know who
No,
you
no,
were.
no,
already.
I don't. You don't want that, do you?
No, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah,
No,
honestly, you don't
I
want
never.
that.
I used to always say like, oh yeah, like what are you in town? If you're a rental car, oh, I'm a comedian. Now it's like no fucking chance. I'm like, I'm just working. I got work.
I say you know what my job is, and you guys can use this if you want.
Please.
I say I'm a what's it called? Fuck, it's slipping my mind. In the one word you need.
Early onset.
I am a
Magician,
an
puppet.
advisor. What are they?
Online
With a C.
Consultant.
Consultant.
I do consulting.
entertainment consultant.
No, not even
No,
entertainment. I just
consultant.
say I do consulting.
Yeah.
That's because consultants travel.
Yeah.
No, just like the whole thing where I said about the Brooklyn, Queens areas.
They drink a lot.
They drink a lot, but
Yeah.
Brooklyn's, Queens areas, they'll just nod their head.
Right.
Because no one wants to go, well, what's a consultant do?
Right.
Because everyone thinks they should know what it does, but no one knows
Nobody
what they
knows.
do.
And if they did, then you're fucked.
Like you can graduate college and work at a consulting firm.
Yeah.
What the fuck do you know to
Yeah.
consult anybody on anything?
yeah.
So no one knows that job, and they
Stupid.
travel a ton. So
Yeah.
if, anytime I'm on a flight, what do you do? Someone talk, I do consulting.
But then they see you watching on your laptop on the plane, The Bachelor, and they're going, consultants don't watch The
Well,
Bachelor.
then they go,
and then
I'm
they see you go like this, like, hey guys, fuck
Hey,
it.
everybody.
And then they're like,
Yeah,
this
J
kid,
Train,
yeah.
J Train coffee
Yeah,
hour.
like
This
this guy's
guy
a
might-
weird consultant.
this guy's got a lot of influence in the consulting community. That's what they think.
Well, Train, it was a fucking pleasure. It was an honor.
Pleasure. I wish we had done. I didn't know we need more history. No,
Well,
No.
dude.
Well,
it's
we
fine.
figured it out. Jesus,
You want to put on the
doesn't-
yarmulke?
We figured it out.
I'm good. The yarmulke stuff.
You don't love
You know, you got to put it on the back of your head.
it. Oh, I have it
Yeah.
on wrong.
No, it's just he's got such a big head. It's got no place
That
to go.
looks good.
That's now you're looking a little Jewish.
It's what it is.
Yeah.
Let me post this, and I'll post it.
That's
The
Jewish.
caption
Yeah.
will just be Israeli flags.
No, yeah.
Is that it? Is that
Yeah,
racist?
that's a more stylish.
微上吸引
Jew. That's a non-stylish Jew.
You're just looking like you're wearing a Mickey Mouse hat that's too small and the ears fell off.
Well, that's a yarmulke.
That's basically a yarmulke,
That's the whole deal.
Yeah.
There it is. Beautiful.
Yeah.
So
Thank you, J Train.
Thanks for
Where can the
having me.
people find you?
At Jared Freed on Instagram. Come on out.
Don't even bother
follow.
getting tickets. The shows are sold out.
Sold the fuck out.
Sold the
You can
fuck
get 'em
out.
Forever.
Philly. When's this come out?
This will come out
In 4 weeks.
This will come out in 4
Yeah.
weeks. Yeah.
Come.
'Cause we're
Whatever I
screwed
am.
in.
Philly punchline.
Yeah.
All right. Love you guys.